last lecture is again on the nervous system, and as you can see in the first slide, okay, you actually have here a view of the functional unit of the nervous system. Okay, so this is actually one neuron showing you the processes. Okay, so you have here an interconnection of neurons, no? And the nervous system is very important because if we are going to compare the body to a cell, the nervous system is actually the nucleus. No, it's the control center. So the nervous system controls and coordinates all bodily processes. Okay, and in its control, of course, the system has this function. No? It functions in irritability. If you can still remember, one of the characteristics of living organisms, we said it's irritability or responsiveness. No? An organism is capable of sensing changes in the external and the internal environments. And after sensing, of course, the organism is able to respond, okay, to a particular stimulation or to particular stimuli. And of course, sabi natin, the ultimate aim of irritability is again survival. Okay? Because we should have the capacity to detect changes in our environments, and because those changes may be beneficial, no, some of them are not, some of them are detrimental, so we have to act, we have to respond accordingly, for us to survive. Okay, and it says here we have three principal components of irritability. Okay, principal components of irritability. So first we have, of course, we have sensation, and then we have conduction. Okay, and then we have the effect. Okay, we have the effect or a particular response. Okay, so in this case, in terms of, okay, so sabi, no, like for example, if we are close, or say for example, no, upon uh, coming in close contact with a hot object, for example, a fire, so there is sensation, right? So you have sensory impulses, okay, being carried or being, so there is reception, diba? Reception of sensory impulses, no? And the sensory impulses, they now travel, they are conducted, okay, going to the central nervous system. The central nervous system now interprets, okay, the sensory impulses, okay, interprets and makes a corresponding decision. And the decision is sent, okay, via a motor neuron. Okay, so a motor neuron can actually, sabi natin, no, if you can still recall our discussion of the muscular system, di ba? Before a muscle can contract, it needs stimulation. It needs an action potential. Okay? So after stimulation, after sending a motor impulse or an action, a motor impulse, so it generates now an action. Okay? So we now draw. Now the response is to draw the hand away from the source of heat or from the source of fire. Okay? So these are the important components of irritability. So you have reception. Okay, so you have reception, you have conduction, and then you have the response. Okay, so those are the works of the sensory neurons, which are going to later discuss sensory neurons, and then we have the association neurons, and then we have the motor neurons. So we are going to discuss a little bit when we go to the types of neurons in terms of function. Okay, now before we go to the nervous system of vertebrates, no, as exemplified by humans, we have to see the different types of nervous systems in different types of animals, especially in the invertebrates. Okay, so first we have the nerve net. Now, nerve net system of the cnidarians or the stinging animals. So again, the cnidarians include you have hydra, you have sea anemones, you have jellyfishes. Now they are the stinging animals. Okay, so a nerve net system, no, is actually made up of nerve cells. Okay, or so technically we also call them neurons, no? And the neurons, they form a network. Okay, and the neurons, no, they are connected to the receptors in the epidermis. Okay, and actually, no, the body as a whole responds to a particular stimulation. Okay, so a single impulse causes the body to move, and the wala naman silang muscles eh, no? May mga cells dyan response. May mga ano rin siya, may mga simple muscle-like structures din siya, no? So anyway, in the nerve net type of the nervous system, no? A single action potential or a single nerve impulse causes the body, no, to move as a whole. Okay, so there is also a single response. Okay, now in another group of organisms, so we have the sea stars, generally the echinoderms or the spiny skin animals. So you have the echinoderms, you have the sea urchins, you have the sea cucumbers. So they now exemplify the ring-like nervous system. Okay, so from the name ring-like, so you have here a ring of nervous tissue around the esophagus of the animal. And from this ring of nervous tissue, okay, 5 radial nerves arise. Okay, so that's the system, no? That's the nervous system for this group of animals. Now, another type, okay, for the flatworm, you have the linear, pahaba, no? Bilateral, so two-sided, or ladder-like. Okay, again, no, from the illustration, the system is actually made up of two ganglia. No? A ganglion is actually a collection or accumulation of the nerve cell bodies. And usually they form a swelling or a mass. So that's why we are calling them ganglia. No? So in this type of system, again, so you have here two ganglia, and these accumulations or collections of the nerve cell bodies, now they act as the brain. Okay? And these ganglia are connected to nerve cords. Okay? To two nerve cords, to two lateral nerve cords. Okay? And there are also nerve branches, no, connecting the nerve cords. So it seems that the nervous system is like a ladder. Okay? Now in the annelids or the segmented worms, like for example in an earthworm, okay, it's more complex, no, compared to that of the flatworms. So there are two masses, okay, corresponding tissue masses, no, brain tissue masses, and each brain tissue mass is connected to the ventral nerve cord. So you have two ventral nerve cords. Okay, and at each segment of the earthworm, remember, diba, they are the segmented, they have partitions and they have through segments, no? So at each segment, okay, or each segment is now provided with a pair of ganglia. Okay, so each ganglion connected to the nerve cord. Okay, so the respective ganglia or the respective ganglion, they are connected to the nerve cords. Okay, so but in terms of type, the plan also follows the central nervous system. Okay. And for the rest, central nervous system na, no? Like for the arthropods, ganun din. The arthropods' central nervous system is similar to that of the annelids, no? But they have larger ganglia, okay? And they have more branched cords, okay? Now for vertebrates, no, as exemplified by human, again, we have the central nervous system. So the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, and also you have there the nerves, no, arising from the brain and the spinal cord. And what is special about the vertebrates is that we already exhibit cephalization. Okay, cephalization. So cephalization means concentration of the nervous tissue at the head part of the organism. Okay, so those are the types. So you have the nerve net, you have the ring type, then you have the linear or bilateral or ladder-like, and then we have the central, okay, nervous system. So those are the types of nervous systems. Okay. Now you are seeing here the functional unit. of the nervous system, no? Which is the neuron. And I guess you're very familiar with the neuron. Okay, and if you're going to examine the entire tissue, of course, you have supporting tissues. Okay, so you have here the neuroglia, and later we're going to discuss the 5 types. Okay, now, if you're going to examine the structure of a neuron, so you have here the cell body. Okay, you have the cell body. In some references, it's also called the soma. Okay, or the pericardion. Okay, soma or pericardion. Remember, cardio pertains to the nucleus, no? So peri around the nucleus. So that's the pericardion. Okay, and then you have here the dendrites. So when you say dendrites, it means branching, no? So these are highly branched structures, and these are the processes or the extensions, okay, that carry inputs, no? That carry impulses towards the cell body or the soma. Okay, and then the last part of the neuron is the axon. Okay, this one. So the axon, it's a very long process. No, in some individuals, in some organism, so an axon could be meters long. Okay, and this is the process or the extension that carries impulses away from the cell body. Okay, passing the impulse to another neuron or to effector organs like muscles and glands. Okay, so that's the functional unit of the nervous system. Now, in terms of classification as to the number of processes, so you have here a unipolar neuron, a bipolar neuron, and a multipolar neuron. So you are counting the number of processes. No? In a unipolar neuron, okay, the cell body is actually found at the side of one axon. Okay, so only axon, no dendrites. And most of the sensory neurons are unipolar neurons. Okay, now a bipolar neuron contains one dendrite and one axon. Okay, and a multipolar neuron contains many dendrites and one axon. So remember, a neuron would always have one axon. Okay, the number of dendrites may vary to none, to one, or to many. Okay, hence you have unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar neurons. Okay, now in terms of function, no, classification of neurons in terms of function. So we have here the sensory neuron. So sabi natin kanina, most of the sensory neurons are unipolar, no? And then you have the association neurons or the interneurons. And then you have here the motor neurons. Okay? Or ito, motor neuron, iisa, no? So a sensory neuron, from the term sensory, okay, it picks up stimulation, okay, or sensations, diba? So usually, these are receptors, if you can still recall our discussion of the integumentary system, no? So a sensory neuron, okay, picks up impulses, okay, from the sense organs, okay, from the viscera, from the other body parts, and conduct, okay, this impulses going to the CNS, okay? In the CNS, sorry, before that, no, a sensory neuron is also called an affector, okay, affector neuron, no? Sensory or affector. So then again, in the CNS, you have the interneurons. So they are in between the sensory and the motor, and they are called association neurons, now because they are the ones responsible for integrating all the inputs. Okay, they are capable of summing up all the impulses, and then they make up a decision. Okay, and the decision, okay, is now transmitted to a motor neuron or to an effector neuron. Okay? So, pwedeng sensory or effector or, sensory or afferent or affector. No? Pag motor, motor or efferent. Okay? Or effector. So, pare-pareho lang siya. No? So, the motor neuron or the efferent neuron, no? It now carries impulses, not after the CNS made its decision, no? The decision, of course, is in the form of impulses or messages again, no? So this is now carried by the motor neuron going to an effector. So an effector could be a muscle, it could be a gland. It could be a cardiac muscle, a skeletal muscle, or a smooth muscle, or it could be a gland. So an effector neuron causes the response. Okay? So that's why in relation to irritability, you also have here the three components, diba? You have reception, you have conduction, and then you have the effect or the response. So that's the work, those are the works of the sensory neuron, the interneurons or the association neurons, and the motor neurons. Okay? Now, what about the supporting structures? So generally, we call them the neuroglia, neuroglial cells or neuroglia. Say neuro, nervous, glia meaning glue. Okay? So they are the supporting structures. Now, they support the neurons. Okay, they help the neurons in their function, but they are not responsible for transmission of impulses. Okay, only the neurons are responsible for the transmission of impulses. That's why they are the functional unit of the nervous system. Okay, now there are 5 types of neuroglia. So the first one, you have the astrocytes. Okay, so from the term, diba, cytes meaning mature cells, astro meaning they are star-shaped. Star-shaped in that they have so many processes. Okay, they are the largest. Okay, they are the most numerous, pinakamarami sila. Okay, they actually form a structural support, okay, for the neurons and other neuroglia. So sa halos lahat na makikita nyo, yung mga yan, halos lahat dyan ay mga astrocytes. Okay? The shape is not that very evident, no? Okay. So they form the structural framework, structural support, and one of the most important, hindi naman most important, no? One of the important functions of the astrocytes is, no, they form a blood-brain barrier. Okay, they form a blood-brain barrier. Okay, so by forming thick and broad sheets around the blood vessels. Okay, blood vessels in the central nervous system. Okay, so it means that no blood, okay, would really go out of the blood vessel, okay, to bathe the nervous tissues. Nawala. So there is just diffusion of substances. Okay? So that's why the brain is protected, no? Because imagine if blood can directly bathe the brain, and if the blood carries toxins, di ba? Toxins, bacteria, viruses, wala. Patay agad tayo. Kasi under attack agad ang ating central nervous system, ang ating control center. So that's the very important function of the astrocytes. No? They form the blood-brain barrier. So blood does not really flow, okay, inside the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, there is, again, no, diffusion, osmosis, okay, other transport mechanisms. Okay, now another type, okay, so we have here the microglia. Microglia, they actually develop from monocytes. Okay, so if you can still recall, the monocytes, they develop to become macrophages, and the macrophages can either be wandering or fixed. So these are the fixed macrophages in the nervous system. Okay, if you can still recall Langerhans in the skin, you have alveolar macrophages in the lungs, osteoclast, diba, in the bone. So ito, yung mga kamag-anak nila, sabi natin, these are the white blood cells. No, these are the macrophages that are stationed, that are fixed to certain areas. So of course, if they develop from monocytes, they are for protection. Okay, they read the nervous tissues of waste. No, if there are certain microorganisms or toxins, no, that eventually reach that part of our nervous system, so they're also responsible for that. They're also responsible for eating, no, dead cells. Okay, dead cells, debris. No? So they're responsible for maintaining cleanliness and integrity of the area, for protecting the area. So sila yung ano ton bantay, sila yung security guard. Okay. So another group, we have the ependymal cells. The ependymal cells are actually ciliated columnar or cuboidal cells, and they line the cavities of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, the cavities of the brain are technically called the ventricles. So if you hear the word ventricle, it's not only solely associated with the heart. Now it's also associated with the brain. So those are the cavities or the spaces no, inside the brain. So they are the ventricles. So if you can imagine, no, may mga spaces doon, and the spaces are continuous with the spinal cord, di ba? The whole, no, the central canal, okay, that's the space no, of the spinal cord. So that's called the central canal. So that particular continuity of space, no, the entirety is lined with the ependymal cells. And the presence of the cilia, okay, means that no, when they beat, okay, actually beating of the cilia produces current. Okay, so that the cerebrospinal fluid, okay, the fluid that circulates now within the ventricles of the brain and also the central canal of the spinal cord can actually circulate. Okay, so the beating of the cilia actually produces current. Okay, so that the CSF, now the cerebrospinal fluid, can actually circulate now within the brain and the spinal cord. And the fluid is necessary for the distribution. Kasi the CSF, when substances diffuse no, from the blood vessel going to the ventricles of the brain. So yun na yun eh, yun yung cerebrospinal fluid. So they're responsible for the exchange of materials. Okay? Now another type is the oligo. Okay, oligodendrocyte. So an oligodendrocyte, okay, compared to an astrocyte is smaller and it has fewer branches. Okay? And the oligodendrocyte is responsible for the production, no, production and myelination. Okay, production and myelination. When you say myelination, you have the production and the wrapping around of the myelin sheath. Ito yung myelin sheath, na? So the myelin sheath, I forgot to mention, okay, going back to the neuron, you have here a representation of the myelin sheath. Okay? And the myelin sheath, remember you have the oligodendrocyte. Ito kasi, it's shown another type eh. You have the Schwann cell, no? Anyway, the myelin sheath is the covering. So, parang ito pala. Oh, ito na nga, no? So, ito. So, that's the covering of the axon. Okay? So, the oligodendrocyte is responsible for the myelination, production, and wrapping around of the myelin sheath, okay, around the axon. Okay, around the axon of the neurons inside the central nervous system. Okay, the myelin sheath no, is responsible for a speedy conduction of impulses, no? So that impulses can travel faster. Okay, so that's the purpose of the myelin sheath, not only for protecting the axons of neurons, but for speeding up, okay, the transmission of impulses. In your physiology, you're going to discuss that, no? Now, another cell, another neuroglia, no? Another group, you have the Schwann cells. Okay, so the Schwann cells, they are responsible for myelination, okay, of the nerve fibers, okay, or the nerves, okay, outside the central nervous system. So the oligodendrocytes are responsible for myelination of the axons of neurons in the central nervous system. The Schwann cells are for myelination of axons or nerve fibers, okay, outside the nervous system, outside the central nervous system, okay? But they are both for myelination, okay? Now, okay, in terms of organization, okay, there are two divisions of the system. Okay, so we have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, so the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, and the peripheral nervous system okay, is made up of the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Okay? So ito, no? So you have the cranial nerves arising from the brain, and then you have the spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord. Okay? Okay, so to further that, so again, you have the CNS. No? The CNS is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. And the PNS, or the peripheral nervous system, is made up of the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Now, in terms of division, in terms of function, you have here the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. So we are going to discuss, okay, this later, especially in terms of their function. Okay. Okay, now we go to the CNS, or the central nervous system. Okay, so if we are going to liken ourselves, okay, with a computer, no? The central nervous system is our central processing unit, or that's the CPU. Okay? The central nervous system is very, very important in controlling, and integrating bodily activities. Diba? Kumbaga nga, kung tayo ay ikukumpara sa isang cell, ang ating central nervous system ay ang kanyang nucleus. Okay? Ang control center. Now, in terms of development, okay, so it says here, development of the brain from the primary brain vesicles. Okay? Now, I don't see the chat. If you have questions, you can just unmute your audio and then ask questions. Huh? Okay, so again, in terms of development of the brain, it says here, development of the brain from the primary brain vesicles, or the first brain vesicles. So during embryonic development, remember, again, I guess in your laboratory, it has been mentioned, you have the development of the neural tube. So the neural tube now actually develops to become the brain. Okay, so it says here, during the end of the 4th week of embryonic development, no? So isang buwan pa lang tayo, end of 4th week of development. So the neural tube actually develops to become the 3, primary brain vesicles. So you have the forebrain, okay, or the prosencephalon. So later you would see the spelling. Prosencephalon, ay yung cephalon yan, no? Prosencephalon. And then you have the midbrain, or the mesencephalon, and then the hindbrain, or the rhombencephalon. Okay? So ito yung spelling, no? Prosencephalon, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon. And then, during the 5th week of development, okay, the primary brain structures, they now differentiate. Okay, they undergo maturation to become the secondary brain vesicles. Okay? So from the forebrain develops, okay, the telencephalon and the diencephalon. And then you have, from the midbrain, you have the mesencephalon. And then from the hindbrain, you have the metencephalon and the myelencephalon. Okay? And if you're going to see the names or the parts of the brain, so these are actually the final brain structures. No? The secondary brain vesicles, they now develop to become the adult brain structures. Okay? So the telencephalon, okay, they develop to become the cerebrum. Okay, and then we have the diencephalon. Okay, the diencephalon develops to become the thalamus. Okay, thalamus and the hypothalamus. Ito, in yellow. Okay, and then that's the diencephalon, no? The diencephalon develops to become the thalamus and the hypothalamus. And then the midbrain, okay, is still the midbrain, the green one, ito. And then we have the metencephalon. The metencephalon, okay, develops to become the pons. Okay, so you have here the pons and the cerebellum, the blue one. And lastly, the myelencephalon, this one, myelencephalon develops to become the medulla oblongata, the purple one. Okay? So those secondary brain vesicles, they give rise to the adult, final brain structures. Okay. So again, you have here from the primary brain vesicles, secondary brain vesicles, and then you have the final brain structures. Okay. So yan siya ulit na. Okay, now let's try to discuss first the brain and then the spinal cord. So it says here, the brain is one of the largest organs of the body. Okay, but the largest is still the skin, no? So it says here, it actually contains about 100 billion neurons. So ganun karami, no? It weighs about 1.3 kilos. It's protected by the cranium or the skull, diba? And it has three meninges or covers. Okay, so you have the dura mater, the arachnoid, and the pia mater. So if you're going to make a section, okay, a section of the head part, so you have here the pia mater, that's the innermost covering, okay, of the brain. And then next to that is the arachnoid. Okay, and next to that is the dura mater. So these are the meninges of the brain. That's why if there is an inflammation of the meninges, so we call that meningitis. Okay? And then the dura mater is followed by the skull, and of course we have the skin and the hair. Okay? Now in terms of brain parts, sabi nga natin, no? The brain is actually likened to a mushroom. So you have here the head of the mushroom, then you have here the tail of the mushroom. Okay? And it has four major parts. So you have here the telencephalon or the cerebrum. And then you have the diencephalon, again, which is made up of your thalamus and the hypothalamus. And then you have the brainstem. Okay? The brainstem, which is made up of the midbrain. And then you have the pons, and then you have the medulla oblongata. So that's the entirety of the midbrain. And then you have the cerebellum. So these are the four major parts of the brain. Okay? Now, in terms of, okay, so let's discuss the major parts one by one. No? So first we have the cerebrum. Okay, so the cerebrum is said to be the largest part of the brain. Okay, it's the largest part. And it also has the largest surface area. Okay, because it's actually thrown into several folds. Okay, so we call each fold a gyrus. So plural, gyri. Okay? And in between the gyri, so you have shallow grooves. Yung mga pailalim, yan. So we are calling them the sulci. So singular sulcus, plural sulci. That's why, no? So the cerebrum has the largest surface area because of this convolutions or because of this folding. Okay? Now, the cerebrum is divided into the right and the left hemispheres. Okay? And they are connected by a band of nerve fibers. So we call that the corpus callosum. Okay? So siya yung nasa gitna. So this is a section of the brain cut, okay, at the level, ito, at the middle, not showing you the parts. Okay? Now, the most active part of the cerebrum is actually the outer part. So that's the cerebral cortex. Okay? It's where most of the brain activities happen. Okay? So yeah, no? So the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain because it's the seat of our intelligence, it's the seat of our memory. It's important in processing sensory inputs and motor inputs or motor outputs. Okay? At sabi nga nila, di ba? Sabi nila ay pag medyo mas malaki daw ang ulo, ay mas relatively ay mas matalino. So there is a certain truth to that saying because the larger the head, the larger the brain, the larger the cerebrum. So you have technically, okay, more space, no, for the storage of data. Para rin sa computer yan, di ba? Pag mas malaki ang storage, syempre, mas marami kang pwedeng i-store ng mga data. So, ganun din, no? Pero of course, if you're not going to input data on your CPU, on your brain, wala din, di ba? Kahit malaki pa yan, kung wala naman yung laman. Kaya nga sabi may joke, di ba? Na if you're going to compare in joke to, no? Joke to. In a store, okay, which sells brains, no, if you will be mga second-hand brains, no? If you will be asked to choose between a Filipino brain, ano pa ba? A Japanese brain, ano pa ba? A British brain ba or American brain? Okay, so which would you buy and why? So ang joke doon, no, one is going to buy the Filipino brain because it is slightly used, no? Kasi daw bibihirang gamitin. So gusto nyo bang masabing slightly used ang mga brains nyo? So syempre hindi. So kailangan mag-aral kayo ng maigi. Okay? So you have to input. Okay? You have to study well so that you're going to store a lot of things, no? Now, in terms of the cerebral lobes, no, and in terms of their function. So we have 4 major cerebral lobes. So you have here the frontal lobe, the blue one. You have the parietal lobe, okay, the green one. You have the occipital lobe, the red one, and the temporal lobe, or the ano ba to, medyo orangey one. Okay? So the frontal lobe, okay, it's very important in the storage of our memory. It also contains it's the seat of consciousness, okay? It also contains the primary somatosensory area. Okay? It's responsible for accepting sensory inputs. Okay? Now, the parietal lobe has the major motor area. It's capable of processing motor impulses. Okay, it's also, I forgot another function of the parietal. Sige, babalikan ko mamaya, no? And then, another, you have the occipital lobe. The occipital lobe is primarily concerned with vision. Okay, and the temporal lobe is primarily concerned with hearing and speech understanding. Ito, no? The parietal lobe is important in speech. Okay? Ito in hearing and in speech understanding. Ito in vision. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to send the handout so andun yung mga details ng functions nila, no? So again, no? So I mentioned earlier that you have the primary olfactory visual cortex. Ito, no? So for vision, ito for hearing and speech understanding, ito for speech din. Okay? Okay. Now, in terms of, sabi, no, we have, you have here the function map of the cerebral hemispheres. Okay? Function map of the cerebral hemispheres. So, ito, it shows you the area. So, it says here, primary somatosensory area and primary motor area. Okay? So it tells us the relative area of the cerebrum, okay, that actually processes, okay, sensory inputs, okay, and motor outputs, okay, especially in relation to the functions of the hands and the face. Diba? So, if you have here the surface area of the cerebrum, sabi natin yung cerebral cortex, it shows you the relative area, okay, that actually takes care, of the, in this case, sensory inputs coming from the feet, okay, coming from the leg, from the thigh, from the tongue, trunk, from the head, from the arm. So, majority of the surface area is actually allotted. Okay? It's actually allotted to the hands and the face. Kasi sila yung maraming trabaho. Diba? Yung kamay, lagi natin ginagamit yan. Sensation. Kasi ito sensory, ito motor. Okay? Laging ginagamit ang kamay sa lahat ng bagay. Okay, also we have our sense organs, no? And they are concentrated on the head part, diba? You have the sense of sight, you have the sense of hearing, sense of smelling, sense of taste, you have also sense of touch. So halos lahat din yan nasa mukha, no? So what we are saying is ang laki ng bahagi, no? Malaki ang bahagi ng cerebrum, okay, na ginagamit para daw makapagproseso, okay, ng mga sensory inputs at saka mga motor outputs. Okay? So yung ibang bahagi ng katawan, maliit lang na area ng cerebrum ang nagagamit. Kasi halos daw lahat ng sensations nanggagaling sa kamay, nanggagaling sa ulo. Pati yung mga works natin, no? Ginagawa ng kamay, ginagawa din ng ulo. Okay? Okay. Now, in terms of cerebral dominance, okay? Sabi, left-handed siya, right-handed siya. Okay, so sabi, no? So, in terms of cerebral dominance, okay, so the right cerebral hemisphere, okay, is actually responsible for intuitive talents. Okay? If you're very creative, okay, if you know how to really draw, okay, if you develop appreciation for music and the arts, okay, so if you are imaginative, intuitive, no, if you can produce visual pictures, no, from olfactory, diba? From visual stimulations, okay, if you are good in literature, in poem making, so yan, no? So the right side is dominant. And it's left-handed control. Kaya sabi nila, pag kaliwete daw, magaling sa drawing, ba? Kasi the right side of the brain is active and it controls it's not controlling, but kasi the nerve tracts, no, coming from the cerebral hemispheres, they cross. So the nerve tracts arising from the right brain, they actually cross going to the left side. Kaya left-handed ang control and vice versa, no? Those tracts arising from the left brain, they cross to the right side. That's why pag active ang left, no, meron kayong right-handed control, no? So the left cerebral hemisphere accounts for the analytical skills, no? If one is good in math, okay, in logic, okay, in symbols and numbers, in written and spoken language, okay, in scientific skills. So the left cerebral hemisphere is dominant over the right side. Eh, ma'am, paano yung mga genius? O parehong active, no? Parehong active ang kanilang kanan at ang kaliwang cerebral hemispheres. Okay? So, yun, no? Okay, so ito. So, you have a list of the functions, okay, attributed to the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Okay? Okay, so we go now to the diencephalon. So sabi natin, no, all in all, okay, the cerebral hemisphere, okay, is the seat of our intelligence, consciousness, memory. Okay, it processes sensory inputs and motor outputs. Okay, so yan, no? What about ito? And also, of course, we have the different skills. So they are all related to our cerebrum. Kaya ingatan ang cerebrum nyo at dagdagan din ang mga inputs, no? Kasi nga sabi nga sa evolution, di ba? An organ that is not used atrophies. Di ba? Lumiliit hanggang sa nagiging vestigial, nawawala na. Display organ na lang. Okay, so don't do that to your brain. So study well. Okay? So another part of the brain is the diencephalon. Sabi natin, the diencephalon is made up of the thalamus, okay, and the hypothalamus. Okay? So the thalamus and the hypothalamus. So the thalamus is a very important relay center. Okay? So it relays sensory inputs or sensory impulses, okay, from the other parts of the brain, okay, going to the cerebral cortex. So para rin siyang basketball, pasa-pasa, no? Because remember, the cerebral cortex, no, contains the primary somatosensory area, okay, where all the sensory inputs are coordinated, associated to make a decision, di ba? So again, the thalamus relays sensory inputs, okay, from all parts of the brain going to the cerebral cortex. Okay? So that's the work of the thalamus. Also, the thalamus is plays an important role in our awareness, okay, through its conscious recognition of pain, okay, temperature and touch in relation to pressure. Okay, so siya rin ang bahala doon, no? So it has something to do with our consciousness, okay? So anyway, for you to visualize the ventricle, so ito yung cavities ng brain yan. Okay, tas yun ang cavity ng spinal cord. Okay, so you have here the central canal and then you have the ventricles of the brain. So this is where the cerebrospinal fluid circulates. Okay, and ito, no, this areas, no, the upper surfaces or the innermost surfaces, they are lined with ependymal cells. Okay, so going back, no, so another part of the diencephalon is the hypothalamus. Okay, the hypothalamus is a very small but terrible part of the brain, no? Ang liit-liit niya pero napakadami niyang ginagawa. Okay? So the hypothalamus is one of the major regulators of our metabolism, no, by controlling the autonomic nervous system. Because the autonomic nervous system actually controls and regulates the work of our viscera or our internal organs. Okay? So it has something to do with regulation of arterial blood pressure. Okay, it has something to do with motility, no? It regulates and controls the motility of our gastrointestinal tract. Okay, it also regulates our temperature. Okay, it also affects our emotions and behavior, no? Sexual behavior, emotions, you have love, anger, anxiety, fear, aggression. So, andyan yan, no? The hypothalamus also regulates our patterns of sleep and waking time, our biological clock. No? It's the one controlling our biological clock. It's also responsible for enhancing feeding, di ba? Kasi meron siyang feeding centers, meron siyang satiety center, no? So that we are satisfied with what we have eaten or what we have ingested or taken. Meron din siyang hunger center. Diba? Eh ma'am, ang question, paano pag laging gutom? O di active na active ang hypothalamus, laging gutom. No? It also contains the thirst center, regulating our fluid intake. Okay, it's also considered to be the master of the master endocrine gland. The master endocrine gland is the pituitary gland, no? Because the pituitary gland tells other endocrine glands to secrete their hormones, their products, no? Now, the one telling the pituitary gland to release their hormones is the hypothalamus. So it's the master of the master endocrine gland, okay? So virtually, the hypothalamus, together with the pituitary gland, actually coordinates and controls all activities in relation to growth, metabolism, development, and homeostasis. No? Halos lahat siya ang nag-uutos. Ito yung pituitary gland. No? Okay? Kaya nga sabi, no, a woman, no, a science-oriented woman can tell, okay, whether, okay, her suitor is a science person or a non-science person. Okay? So, paano nanliligaw? Kung halimbawa, biology sa biology, nanligaw, no? Okay? Paano mo raw sasabihin? Paano ka manliligaw? Sige nga, may nakakaalam ba ng phrase na yon? So, tingnan ko ang aking chat. Okay, so halimbawa raw, no, pag biologist ang lalaki, manliligaw din sa biologist na babae, ano ang dapat sabihin ng lalaki? Okay, it's not the simple I love you, but anong sinasabi? May kausap pa ba ako? Parang wala na naman. Wala, naglayasan na sila. Compliments? Okay, like what? Ayan, sabi ni CJ, I love you yun, ano? So tama, ayun, no? So the man, no, should say to the woman, I love you. Okay? I love you not from the bottom of my heart, okay, but from the seat of my hypothalamus. Okay? Because the hypothalamus controls the emotions. It controls the heart rate. Okay? So siya rin yung nagpapabilis ng, it helps also in the regulation of heartbeat. So siya rin yun, no? So sabi nga, tayo ay, ang nagmamahal talaga ay ang utak. Ang puso lang ang nakakaramdam. Natural, hindi naman nakakaramdam ang utak, di ba? Ang puso lang ang nakakaramdam kasi siya ang tumitibok. Hindi naman tumitibok ang utak, di ba? Tumitibok siya kasi meron siyang cardiac muscles, no? But it's really our brain, no, who loves or which loves. It's not really the heart, no? So the heart is the one performing the action, pero it's really the brain, no, who loves the partner. Okay? So yun. So again, I love you not from the bottom of my heart but from the seat of my hypothalamus. So yun daw ang dapat sabihin, no? So yun. Okay, so what else? Body temperature. Okay. So another part of the brain, so we have here the midbrain, this one. Okay. Okay, so the midbrain is a very important relay center also, no? It relays or conveys sensory inputs from the spinal cord. Okay, going to where? Going to before the cerebral cortex. Going to the thalamus, di ba? Sabi natin the thalamus relays sensory inputs to the cerebral cortex, no? So again, the midbrain, okay, relays or conveys sensory inputs from the spinal cord, okay, to the thalamus. Then the thalamus relays sensory inputs to the cerebral cortex, ba? And from the cerebral cortex, motor impulses are relayed again to the midbrain, okay, going to the spinal cord and going to the cerebellum. Because the cerebellum is the higher center for coordinating muscular contraction. Okay, so that's the work of the midbrain. Okay, what about the pons? No? So the pons actually means bridge. No? It connects. Okay, so the pons connects the spinal cord, okay, to the brain and also connects the other parts of the brain. Okay, kaya tinatawag siyang bridge. No? And the pons is also important in regulating breathing, in regulating respiration. It also contains centers for chewing and salivation. So yan, that's the work of the pons. Huh? Now another is the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata is the last part of the brain, and it's very important also in regulating the functions of the autonomic nervous system. No? It has a cardiac center, okay, thereby controlling and regulating heartbeat. Okay, it also contains the vasomotor center, so it also regulates arterial blood pressure, and it also contains the respiratory center. So ano yun CVR, no? Cardiac center, vasomotor center, and the respiratory center. So it's responsible for regulating, we have sneezing, coughing, chewing, hiccuping, vomiting. So yan, no? So it's the work of the medulla oblongata, okay? And then lastly, we have we have the cerebellum. The cerebellum is referred to as the little brain. Okay, it's the little, kasi when we say brain, we are really pertaining to the cerebrum kasi yun ang talaga nakikita, no? So the cerebellum, in terms of morphology, it also has several folds, no, like the cerebrum, so that's why it's called the little brain. Okay, and the cerebellum is very important it's the higher center for coordinating bodily movements, no? It's also a center for learning new skills like swimming, like playing the guitar or playing the instruments like biking. So nandiyan nakastore ang memory, no? It's also very important in the maintenance of posture and balance. Okay? That's why when a person, okay, actually meets an accident and if the cerebellum is damaged, it now causes paralysis. Nagiging vegetable na, no? Hindi na nakakagalaw. And the same is true with the spinal cord, no? Because again, it's the higher center for coordinating bodily movements, no? It's the cerebrum. So andito siya. Kaya iwasang maumpog ito. Actually, iwasang masira ang inyong brain tissue kasi di ba sabi natin, the tissues of the body, they can repair themselves, but not the nervous tissues. Okay? So that's why brain damages are permanent. Okay? Kung halimbawa may na-damage ng portion ng brain na yun, kung ano man nakastore na memory doon o yung function nun, nawawala yun, no? Kaya ingatan ng ating mga utak. That's why it's really very protected by the cranium and other parts of the skull. Okay? So yan, no? So that's for the parts of the brain. Okay, now we go to the spinal cord. Ito yan. Okay? So the spinal cord is another part of the central nervous system. It's very important, acting as a highway. Okay? So it receives and processes sensory inputs coming from the nerves and also sends motor inputs or motor outputs, no, going to the effectors. So it's an information highway. Okay? So yan, no? So if you're going to make a cross-section of the spinal cord, ito yon. So it says here, it has 31 segments in humans. Okay, the numbers, they somehow correspond to the number of vertebrae. Okay, so we have C1 to C7, pero ang cervical vertebrae natin ay C1 to C8, no? Pero ang cervical vertebrae natin ay hanggang 7 lang. So C1, so these are the segments, no? C1 to C8, T1 to T12, L1 to L5, S1 to S5, and then one coccygeal. Merong isang coccygeal pa. Mamaya i-ano natin, no? So there are 31 segments, okay? So it says here, if you're going to make a cross-section of the spinal cord, the gray matter, this is the gray matter, this actually contains the neurons. So the dark purple ones that you're seeing, they're actually the neurons, and they are so very gorgeous, no, when you look at them under the microscope, okay? And the white matter, they actually contains the nerve tracts, the axons, okay, the myelinated axons, okay, and then the axons, they join forming the nerves, no? So if you have here a section of the spinal cord, meron siyang dorsal sensory root at saka yung ventral motor root, which we are going to discuss later when we go to the spinal nerves, okay? So again, it has also 3 meninges. You have the pia mater, the arachnoid, and the dura mater, like that of the meninges of the brain, okay? So that's the spinal cord. Now, it acts as an information highway, okay? Getting information from the outside, no? Getting sensory inputs from the outside, okay? And also sending motor outputs going to the effectors. Again, effectors could either be muscles or glands, okay? Now, what about the peripheral nervous system? So the peripheral nervous system is made up of the cranial nerves, okay, arising from the brain, and the spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord, okay? There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves, okay? So what is a nerve? If you're going to get a section of a nerve, yan, mga ugat, okay, it's actually made up of bundles of nerve fibers. No? So the nerve fibers are actually the axons. They are the axons of neurons. So ganun sila kahaba. At pag pinagsama-sama sila, yan, sila ang nagiging nerve. Okay, because remember, they are the ones conducting sensory inputs and motor outputs, okay, as we are going to discuss later. Now, so these are the 12 pairs of cranial nerves now arising from the brain. Okay, so they can be represented by Roman numeral, by capital Roman numeral routes. Now, so you have 1 to 12. So you can say CN1 or cranial nerve 1, CN2, cranial nerve 2, until CN12, cranial nerve 12. Or you have the names, no? So, of course, you have to remember them in order. And there is a very interesting mnemonic device that you can use in order to remember them well. Remember the names in order, now well. So we are using the first letters, okay, of the cranial nerves. So papaano raw mabilis matandaan, no? Okay, so with expression, no? O, okay, to touch and feel a girl's V, So merong daw expression yun, ano? O, to touch and feel a girl's V, Okay? Pwede namang a girl's, nawala yung pointer. Ayun, no? Oh no. Ayun. Parang humina na ang battery, no? Pwede namang a girl's buhok or a girl's balakang, di ba? Kasi kung ano-ano yung iniisip nyo. Okay? Or, pwede rin sa lalaki no, O, to touch and feel a gentleman's vest. Pwede rin yun. Or, kasi ito, yung auditory, it's also called vestibulocochlear. Auditory ear, no? Pwede rin O, to touch and feel very green vegetables. Okay? Nagre-react ba doon? Para mahina ang aking, ayan. Tingnan ko nga kung may nag-react. Aba, wala nag-react. Anyway, also going back, no? So, yan, no? Now, ano ba yung mga functions na mga yan? So, actually, you can decipher the functions, no? Based from the name. So, halimbawa, olfactory. Olfactory is a sensory neuron. Okay, it now senses, it's responsible for olfactory sensations or for the sense of smell. Okay, optic. Okay, movement of, for vision. Diba? Oculomotor, movement of the eyeball. Okay, so try to see this table. So you have here the name of the cranial nerve. Okay, you have here the name of the cranial nerve. And then the type of nerve. Okay, whether it is sensory. Okay, so as you can see, among the 12 pairs of nerves, there are only 3 sensory. You have cranial nerves 1, okay, 2, and 8. Yung vestibulocochlear o yung auditory. Okay, sensing, okay, smell, sight or vision, and hearing, ba? So silang tatlo lang, kaya olfactory, optic, and auditory or vestibulocochlear. Okay, the rest are mixed. Okay, mixed nerves. When you say mixed nerves, they have both sensory function and motor function. Okay, they send or they carry sensory inputs and also motor outputs. Okay, and I guess I don't have to explain each one because they are self-explanatory, but they will be included in your examination, so please study them. Okay? So, yeah, no? Now you have here the, again, 31 pairs of cranial nerves, spinal nerves. So you have C1 to C8, T1 to T12, L1 to L5, okay, S1 to S5, and then you have the coccygeal. So all in all, we have 31 pairs of nerves. And unlike the cranial nerves, spinal nerves are all mixed nerves. Okay, they are all mixed nerves. So you have here a section of the spinal cord. There is a dorsal sensory root and a ventral motor root. So this part, okay, relays sensory inputs, and then those sensory inputs are now processed, now integrated by the central nervous system, by the spinal cord, until a decision is made. Okay, and the decision in the form of motor impulses are carried by the motor neuron going to the effector. So an effector could be, again, a muscle or a gland. Okay, so again, there are 3 sensory cranial nerves. All the rest are mixed, but all the spinal nerves are mixed nerves. Okay. Okay. Again, no, going back. Under the peripheral nervous system, in terms of function, we have the somatic and the autonomic nervous system. Okay. So the somatic nervous system, when you say somatic, it means body. No? So it now includes all sensory neurons conveying sensory inputs, okay, from the head, from the trunk, from the extremities, no, from the body wall, going to the central nervous system, and all motor neurons carrying motor outputs or motor impulses going to skeletal muscles. Okay, hence the somatic nervous system is responsible for controlling the voluntary bodily activities. So ang effector nila ay skeletal muscles. And the skeletal muscles, diba, contraction of the skeletal muscles is said to be voluntary because we can consciously control their contractions. Okay, whereas the autonomic nervous system, okay, they now this now consists of sensory neurons relaying sensory inputs from the viscera, okay, from the internal organs, okay, and motor neurons that relay motor inputs to cardiac muscles, smooth muscles, and glands, thereby controlling involuntary bodily activities. Okay, so that's the work of the autonomic nervous system. And the autonomic nervous system, the motor part, kasi isa lang naman yung sensory part eh. So the motor part or the motor branch is still further divided into 2 divisions. You have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Okay? So ito yun, no? You have a differentiation of the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay? The sympathetic nervous system is also called the thoracolumbar. Okay? Thoracolumbar division. Because the nerves, okay, they arise from the thoracic and the lower and the upper lumbar segments of the spinal cord, hence called the thoracolumbar division. Okay, and this sympathetic nervous system actually functions or addresses body needs during increased activity or during emergencies. That's why it's also called the fight or flight system. Okay, and of course during increased bodily activities and during emergencies, di ba, the body now expends energy. Talagang gumagamit ng energy, no? So halimbawa, it increases heartbeat. Okay, it relaxes airway so that we can get more oxygen, okay, for ATP production. Okay, it stimulates release of glucose because glucose is needed to be oxidized, remember, okay, to produce ATP. Okay, it now secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine, or more commonly known as adrenaline and noradrenaline, diba? So adrenaline is responsible for increasing cardiac output at saka increasing again the glucose level. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba pag talagang strenuous ang activity, pag very active tayo, 'di ba? Pag may emergency cases, 'di Diba? All systems go. Talagang very alert, no? Very energetic. So that's the work of the sympathetic nervous system, no? And it's primarily because of epinephrine or adrenaline. Kaya nga yung iba, diba, sa mga movies, pag nababaril, nasusugatan, pag lambot na sinasaksakan sila ng adrenaline, no? Because adrenaline increases cardiac output, it increases heartbeat, and also increases the level of glucose in the blood so that more energy, okay, can be more sugar is available, no, for the production of energy. Okay, it also promotes ejaculation and vaginal contraction. So yeah, no. So in other words, the sympathetic nervous system is very active when we are active. It works when we are active. Okay. As opposed to the function of the parasympathetic nervous system. Kasi we have here the parasympathetic division, no? The parasympathetic division is active when we are at rest naman. So baliktad, no? Kung mayroon nagpapabilis ng pagtibok ng puso, may nagpapabagal naman ng pagtibok ng puso. Hindi naman pwedeng lahat bilis na lang ng bilis. So dapat may tagapagpabagal din. Kumbaga meron kang switch on at meron kang switch off. Okay? So the parasympathetic nervous system is also referred to as the craniosacral. Okay, craniosacral division, because the nerves actually arise from the lower parts of the brain and also the sacral segments of the spinal cord. And in one of the references that I read, usually the nerves, they are relatively longer, no? They are relatively longer, and they actually come from farther locations, diba? Ang layo ng dulo ng ulo yun tsaka yung sa may sacral. So mas mabagal makarating ang impulses sa kanila mga pupuntahan. Samantalang ang thoracolumbar malapit lang. From the thorax part and from the lumbar part, ayun na yung mga internal organs. Okay? So mas mahaba yung mga nerves na nanggagaling sa sacral area at cranial area. Okay? So again, the parasympathetic nervous system is active when we are at rest. That's why it's called the rest and the digest system. Okay? So it slows heartbeat, okay, it constricts airways, and it stimulates the activity of the internal organs. So that's why sabi natin, no, when immediately after a meal, especially if we're going to if we ate a lot, no, we feel very sleepy because less blood goes to the brain and more blood goes to the gut. Okay, because the function of the system, the primary aim of the system is to digest food. And that's the work of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. Okay? So yeah. Ito naman, it also promotes erection of the genitals. Okay? Kaya nga sabi nila, pag early morning, kasi relaxed, ang gumagana doon ay ang parasympathetic nervous system. Kaya usually daw, nag-e-erect ang penis ng mga lalaki pag early morning. Kasi ibig sabihin, relax sila nun. No? Kahit walang stimulation, erected yung mga yan. Okay? Okay. So I guess last part for the nervous system, we have a reflex arc. Okay? So how do you define a reflex? Diba halimbawa sa mga doktor, may knee-jerk reflex. Pag pinukpok yung tuhod, nagsuswing yung paa. So it's a reflex, na? So a reflex is actually a rapid, predictable response, okay, to a particular stimulation. No? So reflexes are rapid, predictable responses to stimulation. Okay? And a reflex is actually produced by a reflex arc. Okay? An arc is just a pathway. No? It's a pathway that is being traversed by a stimulation. So it's also in relation to the components of irritability earlier. No? So what are the components of a reflex arc? So you have a receptor. Okay, a receptor or receptors, of course, they receive stimulation, okay, from the different organ. Like halimbawa, if you are if you were pricked by a pin, so there will be reception of pain, diba? Okay, so there is reception. So one part is the receptor. So the receptor now sends impulses, no? Sensory impulses to the sensory. Actually, the receptor, no, is a sensory neuron. So you have the sensory or the afferent neuron, which now convey sensory impulses going to the CNS. In the CNS, you have there the interneurons or the association neurons. They're responsible for integrating all the impulses, all the messages, and correspondingly, they are responsible for creating a decision. No? So, merong decision na, ay, natusok siya ng pin. Yun ang interpretation nila ng sensation, natusok siya ng pin. No? So, after the CNS, we have the motor neuron. So, the motor neuron now carries the decision, okay, carries the message. Okay, we have the motor impulses going to an effector. And in this example, an effector could be a muscle. Okay, so that you can actually withdraw the pin or remove the pin, di ba, from the skin. So that's an action. So again, those are the components of a reflex arc. You have a receptor, you have the sensory neuron, you have the CNS where the interneurons are located, you have the motor neuron, and then you have the effector. So again, an effector could be a muscle or a gland. Okay? So that ends our our nervous system. Okay? That's the end of the nervous system. Meron bang question sa nervous system? Kasi kung wala, idediretso ko lang ng konting endocrine. Sige. Endocrine system. No? So, I guess during the orientation, no, we have mentioned that the endocrine system is responsible for regulating all aspects of metabolism, growth and development, no? Because the endocrine glands are responsible for the production of proteins called hormones. And hormones are organic chemical regulators. So they regulate the bodily activities. Okay? So before this, now we have the major endocrine systems, endocrine glands rather. You have here the hypothalamus. We said that the hypothalamus is the master. No, it's the master of the master endocrine gland, which is the pituitary gland. No? Because the hypothalamus actually produces and secretes releasing hormones. Okay, and those releasing hormones tell the pituitary, no, to release this particular hormone. Like for example, the hypothalamus, halimbawa ito siya, no? Halimbawa, the hypothalamus tells the, anong magandang example? Okay. Halimbawa, the hypothalamus produces and releases, okay, prolactin releasing hormone. Okay, and that releasing hormone tells the anterior pituitary to release prolactin. Okay? So, siya yung taga-utos, no? Halimbawa, ito, sa gonads, no? So, the hypothalamus produces follicle-stimulating hormone, releasing hormone. Lagi may RH, no? FSH-RH. So, that releasing hormone, okay, tells the anterior pituitary or stimulates the anterior pituitary to release the follicle-stimulating hormone. So, lahat yan meron. Okay, MSH-RH, prolactin-RH, FSH-RH, LH-RH. Basta yung RH ay ibig sabihin ay releasing hormone. No? That's why this is called the master of the master endocrine gland, which is the pituitary gland. Okay? So another is the pineal gland. Okay, then you have here the thyroid and the parathyroids, and you have the thymus. That's why the thymus is also a very important organ, not only in the lymphatic system, but also this is a very important endocrine gland. Okay, it releases thymosin. No? So anyway, later you would see. Thus you have here the Pancreas, sabi natin the pancreas is a dual organ. It has both endocrine and exocrine function. Being exocrine, it releases the enzymes of the pancreatic juice, diba? And then being endocrine, it releases insulin, no, glucagon, insulin, glucagon, and the other one. Ayun, no? Basta they're responsible for affecting the levels of glucose in the blood. And then you have adrenal glands, and of course you have the gonads. No? You have the ovaries in females and the testes in males. Okay? So again, going back, so I would like you to study this table. It's actually the summary of the endocrine system. No? So first column, you have the different endocrine glands. Sabi natin, the hypothalamus is the master of the master endocrine gland, no? Because it produces releasing hormones, releasing and inhibiting hormones. Okay? So again, first column, you have here the endocrine gland. And then second column, you have here the different hormones that are released. Okay, and then never mind the class. Okay, never mind. Very important, you have the target organs or the target tissues and their functions. Pituitary, it produces diuretic hormone, okay, which now targets the kidneys. No? And what's the effect of this hormone? It stimulates water reabsorption by the kidneys. Kaya nga anti-diuretic. When you say diuresis, no, diuretics, especially those that are taken by hypertensive people, no, a diuretic is an agent or a compound that increases the volume of urine, yung pampaihi, pampadami ng ihi, pampadami ng volume ng ihi, no, para makaregulate ng blood pressure. Ngayon, kaya nga anti-diuretic, no, it now stimulates water reabsorption and retention by the kidneys so that we would not produce that much urine. Okay? Halimbawa, oxytocin. Oxytocin targets the uterus and the mammary glands. Again, if you can recall our discussion of the reproductive system, diba? Oxytocin is responsible for the contraction of the uterus during labor and the ejection of milk, diba? Ejection of milk from the mammary glands. Kaya habang buntis, pag nag-labor na siya, habang nagko-contract ang uterus niya, inuutusan na rin ng oxytocin ang kanyang mammary glands na maglabas ng gatas. Okay? And it's very, very practical, no? Why would a mother's breast release milk kung wala pa namang infant na dedede sa kanya? So, syempre, hindi pa, no? So, it's very, actually, it's very, very, it's very easy naman, no? So, actually, the names of the hormones, they suggest also the function, no? So, like halimbawa, yung thyroxine and triiodothyronine, they are very important in metabolism, okay? So, again, no, you have here again the list of the different glands: pituitary gland, thyroid, parathyroids, the adrenal glands, the pancreas, the gonads, the thymus, and the pineal gland. And their hormones, their target tissues and organs, and their function. So again, you study them. Now they will be included in your examination. Okay? So yeah, no? So I guess, okay, that ends our zoology lecture. Yeah, no? That ends our zoology lecture. So I hope you learned things from your zoology lecture.